Generally, unfortunately, I would say, we tend to judge a man by his, I would say, the way of dressing, the way he speaks, or the way he goes around in society. But a person should be judged when you understand his inner core. My friends, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to Bal Govind Prabhuji, who is going to address all of you now. Swamiji has degree in mechanical engineering from COEP, College of Engineering, Pune. Hold your applause because there is more to come. He has worked as a software engineer in Engineering Research Center of Tata Technologies Limited. He has Masters in Education, M.Ed, and has keen interest in the field of education, and he runs 2 setups of Gurukuls, having currently 29 children. He is a member and teacher at GBC College for Leadership and Development, and he is the Vice President of ISKCON NVCC Pune. He is the co-director of Lotus Voice, an educational forum of ISKCON, specializing at training and education of children, teachers, corporates, and business community. He founded and managed 10 flourishing student leadership training communities in engineering colleges across India. Over 4,000 students have been trained and certified through the training programs offered therein. He conducts seminars and workshops at various reputed educational institutes, including IITs, NITs, as well as leading MNCs like Pulse Secure, Google, Hindustan Petroleum, HDFC, Tech Mahindra, and etc., to name a few, in India, Brazil, and United States of America. He facilitates many students and professionals to a scientific understanding and application of Vedic concepts in their lives. Teacher and life coach towards all classes of audience, that is children, youth, corporate, and families, and can be accessed on a YouTube channel called Lotus Voice. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, Bal Govind Prabhuji.
So since we have been sitting for quite a long time, can I request you to please stand up? Put your hands together up above your head. Stand on your toes. Come down. Please be seated. If possible, please recite this prayer after me. This prayer is a standard invocation prayer. Whenever teachers and students come together for the first time for learning, this is Indian culture. This is how they begin their learning and teaching. So please join me in reciting this prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning of this prayer is Sahanav Avatu. Avatu is to protect. May our consciousness, attitude, values be protected as we come together and begin our studies. Sahanav Bhunaktu. May we enjoy getting empowered through the studies. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. May we perform powerful acts in the service of mankind, in the service of God, by the study and the empowerment that we get. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. May our intelligence become very sharp to make proper decisions in provoking situations of life. Ma Vidvishavahai. And may we not become envious of others for their material or spiritual prosperity, but rather collaborate than compete. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. that brings the peace formula in place. There are three kinds of miseries: caused by body and mind, caused by other living beings, caused by natural calamities. So each Shanti is offered for each type of peace that we need to begin our study properly. So may my mind and body be peaceful, may my relationships with others be peaceful, and may I not be disturbed by natural occurrences, so that I and my teacher can focus on the study that we are about to begin. So I take this opportunity to once again thank all the dignitaries on the dais, and especially the one who is not present here, Mr. Vishwanath Karad. Our relationship has been deep in terms of our offerings of service at the MIT Gurukul. Just yesterday I completed a curriculum for anti-bullying training for the older students who enter the school, how they should be trained to take care of the younger ones, so that they become a family rather than a prison. So today I would like to begin by one short story. There was one boy called Sensi in China. He really wanted to learn Kung Fu, and he had one problem. He was handicapped. He had no left arm. He had heard of a monastery up in the mountain that had best teachers. He climbed up the whole mountain and waited outside the door to get enrolled. One day passed by, nobody opened even the door. He stayed on. It was cold, it was dark, it was night, there was no food in the stomach. Next day morning, one old man opened the home, came out and started grooming the courtyard. The boy ran up to him. Sensei said, "Take me in, I want to learn Kung Fu." That man behaved as if he was deaf and dumb. He boomed, went inside the monastery, closed the door. Another day passed by. No food, cold winter mountain, and all kinds of anxieties with natural disturbances. The boy survived. Third day morning, the door opened. 3 boys came out. "Do you want to learn Kung Fu?" "Yes." "Come inside." He ran up with them. To his great amazement, he found that the chief director of that monastery, Shifu, was sitting on a high dais, and he was that same old man who had come for grooming outside the day before. "I want to learn Kung Fu." He said, "I have 3 conditions. Number 1, whatever I teach you, you must practice with great 15 P's and make sure that you have become master in this. Number 2, I may teach many other things to many other students. You shall not compare and compete. You should simply focus on your business. And number 3, you shall do the learning in the mood that I want to become a good servant of humanity and God. It is not just learning, but it is also the mood in which we learn makes the difference. One gets divine empowerments." Sensei agreed with great thought. And eventually, the training began. There were some normal adventure tracks, basic health and power generating exercises. After some time, his sensei was taught the first move, and he practiced it 7 days, one month. And the teacher was not teaching him anything further. 1 month passed, 6 months passed, 1 year passed. Sensei only was practicing one move in Kung Fu. Everyone else was being taught so many things. And Sensei was feeling a little discouraged. Why am I not being taught any other thing? Finally, after 1 year, his name was enrolled into National Championship of China for Kung Fu. And Sensei was shocked. All I know is one move, and I'm supposed to go fight the champions. But he had faith in his teacher. When he went for that championship, Sensei was miraculously winning. Quarterfinals, semi-finals, finally reached all the way up to the final. And he faced the national champion of China in Kung Fu. That person had thunderbolt-like body, dexterous movements. One beating by him can make you dead. And he was standing before him, not knowing what to do. So his teacher called him from the ring. Do not fear. Do the move that I have taught you with confidence and you will win. Since he went back, stood on his 2 firm feet, one arm. As soon as that fellow came before him, Sensei made the move. And that person was flat on ground. For a while, the stadium was silent. Nobody knew what happened. Championship tournament began and got over within 10 seconds. Then there was a loud applause, lot of appreciation by the audience. Sensei was put the medal, national champion of China in Kung Fu. And Sensei was not knowing what is happening. So finally with his whole team, they went back to the monastery. He went to his teacher. He was actually having tears in his eyes. He said, my dear sir, I have only one question. How did I win? So the teacher said, 3 reasons why you won. Number 1, the one move that I have taught you, you practiced it so nicely that there is no person on earth that can make that move like you do. Number 2, because you did not compete but collaborated with your colleagues. And you served in this monastery with a mood of wanting to become an excellent servant leader in future. You are not only having physical, earthly powers, you actually have divine endowments, spiritual powers. And number 3, the move that I have taught you has a counter move. But in that counter move, your opponent has to hold your left arm, which you don't have. By the time he would come to know, you would have defeated him. So in this way, what was so-called handicap has turned into your strength. And this is why you are winning every time. So in our lives also, when we enter into an educational institution, we have to enter with certain intensity. It is not a casual phenomenon that I got some admission, I paid some fees, I got some teachers, I got some books to study. Any profession that we come across can be turned into a very great, divine, meaningful service contribution to the whole humanity around, provided we have the right attitude and the right type of training. So, how many of you have watched martial art movies? Every martial art movie typically has 3 parts. The pain part, the preparation part, the performance part. The hero undergoes some pain. His family is destroyed or some injury. And then he's burning with vengeance. He goes to some monastery, gets some training. He goes through the preparation part. And then the hero comes out. And there is a lot of heroism involved in the way he comes out into the field for performance. I would like to ask you, which of these 3 parts do you like the most? How many of you like the pain part in the movie? How many of you like the preparation part in the movie? How many of you like the performance part in the movie? Acha. I personally like the preparation part the most. Because if your preparation is nice, your performance is assured. And this is why, when we are entering into this monastery, it's a great opportunity for not only building our peculiar IQ, EQ skills, but especially our SQ skills. IQ skills gives you position, EQ skills give you power or influence over others, and SQ gives you meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in whatever you do. So therefore, I would like to mention some 5 simple universal spiritual practices, when followed, can release divine endowments to help us get empowered to serve better. But I would like to give an analogy before. Imagine you are driving a Luna, it's an Indian moped for those who don't know, on Pune-Bombay Express Highway. You're not supposed to drive, but in case. How much ever you twist the ear of the Luna, you are not going to go beyond 55 km per hour. And that too, engine will make so much noise, you'll be fed up. Someone comes in a Mercedes-Benz and they go at the speed of 120 km per hour, no sound. And sometimes you become envious of them for that type of performance. You say, what is this? I'm making so much sound, no, going nowhere. This person went ahead just like that. But there is another option. Imagine you have a friend who is a billionaire. You give him a phone call, he sends you a helicopter. They latch you along with your Luna and lift you. And then they take you. At what speed do you go? 300 km per hour. Practically speaking, what is your effort? Latke raho. Don't fall down. Stay in touch. And in this way, in our day-to-day performance, we have this body, mind, intelligence, our typical PQ, IQ, EQ, and it has its limitation. How much performance can we produce out of this? It's a vehicle that has obvious limitations. We all tried. So, God is our best friend. If we invite with the 16th P prayer, His divine endowments in our life, we can actually do great miracles. And those miracles can take us at a performance level that we will be amazed. Is this me who is able to do this? And this is why in this Peace University, I request you to practice additional 5 daily practices that will help you become peaceful within and without. Number 1, this is A, B, C, D, E of spiritual life. Okay? A for association. Please repeat after me. We are an average of 5 people we regularly associate with. Who are the 5 people you are associating with? Sum total of their attitudes, sum total of their activities divided by 5 are your attitudes and your activities in life. My dear friends, it's my real humble request to you, carefully choose your association. It can destroy or greatly empower you. B is for books. Now we can call it media in general. What type of books you read, what type of media you consume has a great impact. So it's not just the knowledge that we gain from our academics, but also what inputs do we give to our intellect, through what philosophy that we adopt in our life. Some people say, well, philosophy is for old people. I had gone to one college, I give a presentation. Philosophy means philo and sophia, There is wisdom and there is love for wisdom. So I said, so what is the meaning of philosophy? One boy said, love for sophia. I said, then all wisdom is destroyed. Because the purpose is actually to begin with right foundational philosophy. Who am I? What is this creation? Why am I here in the first place? In my journey in spiritual life, I found out 3 basic purposes: self-development, loving trustworthy relationships, and meaningful service contribution. This is the purpose of coming to any educational institution. Work on self-development. Self-development just does not mean bodybuilding. Self-development just does not mean mental capacity building. It includes all aspects of our life. In the Vedas, there is a model called Panchakosh Vikas. There is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Jnanamaya, and Anandamaya. 5 types of coverings. And imagine a car. Car is made up of tin, metal, plastic, rubber. You can say, well, that is car. Beyond that, there is petrol. That's also car, that runs the car. Then beyond that, there are systems, carburation, ignition. Beyond that, there is artificial intelligence in the car. Navigation, wiper control, headlight controls. And finally, there is the experience of the driver who is driving the car. This is Panchakosh. We have this body, the water externals we see, it's Annamaya. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Annamaya. A little higher is Pranamaya, Prana Shakti, that runs the whole system. Beyond that is Manomaya, our systems, digestion, whatever. It's all run by the mind, without even our knowledge sometimes. Beyond that is Jnanamaya. How do we perceive what we are doing? And beyond that is the experience of the soul, Atma, in running this mechanism itself. Good and bad experiences that we go through life, we can actually change them provided we develop our Anandamaya Kosh. So real education acts at all 5 levels and brings out the holistic transformation in the students. And we should pay attention to that ourselves in our life, whether others facilitate it or not. And that is Sarvangina Vikas, holistic development. So A for association, B for books, C for a simple method of meditation called chanting. Every religion, Christianity, Islam, Sanatan Dharma, they have their method of calling out God in prayer. So they recommend chanting 99 names of Allah, or in our Sanatan Dharma we have so many mantras, the mantra meditation methods that can help us build our SQ and especially bring in divine endowments in our life. So C for chanting. D is for diet. You are what you eat. And this diet, ahara, is not only for the mouth and the stomach. Ahara with your eyes, input to your ears, nose, skin, all the jnanendriyas. What are you consuming with them? Garbage in, garbage out. You heard this gigo in computers? Same applies to our system. So we have to purify our diet. And finally, E is for engagement in service. We have to make sure, just like Arjuna, he went to the academy or World Peace University of Dronacharya and he learned archery as a great archer, as a king. But learning archery may be material, but the purpose for which you utilize can become spiritual. And this is why learning a skill can become a spiritual effort if we make it as an expression of service. So we have to make self-expression that leads to self-fulfillment. This is true peace formula. And therefore, we have to learn how can I meaningfully serve others through the talents, capacities, resources, and endowments that I have received. Endowment is a nice word. Gift that comes with a condition is called endowment. If you don't use it properly, it is taken away. Similarly, all of us have been given this chance to perfect our lives, to perfect our existence. But it all begins with right attitude. So, this A, B, C, D, E, A for, B for, C for, B for, E for. Service with service attitude. We learn whatever we learn for rendering service, not for showing off our talents, not for making money, not for getting power and prestige. Money, power, prestige, enjoyments are the means to the goals. The goals are self-development, loving relationships, and service contribution. Now, in modern times, education systems have made it ulta. It's completely opposite. Why do I do self-development? Why do I establish relationships? Why do I render service? To get money, power, gadgets, prestige, fame, power in the society. This is the imbalance. We have to make the means as the means and the goals as the goals. Then we shall become truly peaceful. So I would like to conclude by asking you to repeat one statement after me. Please repeat. We have to add value into ourselves so that we become valuable to the whole world. We have to add value into the world so that we become valuable in the eyes of God. Thank you very much.
What a beautiful speech.